and welcome. I'm Rik Glauert, and here's what happened this week. Taiwan denied media reports that President Lai Ching-te tried to call President-elect Donald Trump. It comes as Taiwan is preparing to work with the incoming administration on security cooperation. But some in the country are concerned that the US commitment to Taiwan's defense could now change. Jaime Ocon reports.
Just hours after Donald Trump secured enough votes to become the next president of the United States, Taiwan's president, Lai Ching-te, took to social media, posting this congratulatory message. The last time Trump won office in 2016, he accepted a call with then-President Tsai Ing-wen, breaking decades of U.S. policy on Taiwan. Taiwan's presidential office has denied a report from U.S. media outlet Bloomberg that Lai tried to call Trump, saying instead that it's looking forward to working with the new administration. That message was also echoed by Taiwan's foreign minister, Lin Jialong, as he addressed lawmakers on what to expect with the incoming administration in Washington.
首先，川普首次执政时，包括开启对台军售常态化、高层访台、宣布放宽台美交往限制等，造就台美关系显著正向发展。我方让审慎努力推动川普新政府延续首次执政对台政策的正面立场。
Security and government officials are now warning that neighboring China, which threatens Taiwan with invasion, might use the transition period from Biden to Trump to increase pressure on Taiwan. But on the streets of Taipei, many have mixed feelings about the result and are hoping Taiwan's security is still a priority.
可能也是有一点觉得不安，想说不知道川普对台湾就是未来的一些态度会有什么样的改变。他就是有一直在提到说要付他保护费的事情。 对，所以就是也不知道说后面他会就是怎么样去对台湾的一些可能会比较友善或者是比较不友善的一些态度这样。
还是希望能够就是保护台湾这样，因为毕竟就是现在两岸关系比较僵紧。对，
我是台湾呢，自己的事情要靠自己了。我从来不认为说台湾的事情呢要依赖别人。
Trump, known for his transactional approach to the U.S.'s international relations, says he's looking to put America first. Leading up to the election, Trump had previously criticized Taiwan for not paying for its defense. That's despite Taipei buying almost all of its weapons from Washington. Analysts say that with Trump now in office, that kind of rhetoric could be concerning for Taiwan and other allies in Asia.
I think Taiwan, like all countries, needs to approach this in a way that, tries to prove value to the United States and show why alliances and why security ties actually do matter in the context of broader American national interests.
Conservatives in the U.S. have urged other countries around the world to step up defense, saying it shouldn't just be the U.S. helping to ensure security. But with Trump's unpredictability, Taiwan, along with other Asian countries, will most likely have to invest more in defense spending.
I think there's more comfort in Asia than Europe with the prospect of more broadly in terms of Trump 2.0. I think it is likely that states within Asia will continue to increase their defense budgets simply because, in the world of Trump, commitments are not necessarily ironclad.
While the U.S. and Taiwan don't have official ties, it's still too early to tell if security cooperation between the two sides will change with a second Trump presidency. Patrick Chen, Cadence Quaranta, and Jaime Ocon in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
When Typhoon Kong-Rey tore through Taiwan, it killed 3 people and left hundreds injured. The storm has also left a tricky mess for work crews to clean up in the country's rugged interior. Despite progress reopening roads and bringing back power, people in some areas are still relying on air-dropped supplies. John Bantriest reports.
A stretch of mountain highway reopens after days of work to clear up mud, boulders, and fallen trees. Typhoon Kong-Rey hit Taiwan's mountains hard, with driving rain triggering landslides that buried roads. But bit by bit, work crews have dug their way through the muck and rubble on blocked sections like this.
早上经过现场试车确认安全状况无虞之后，于今天3日中午12点开始开放便道通行。
Slowly, electricity is coming back to the mountains too, as crews repair storm damage. Still, as late as Sunday, over 1,000 households in the rugged heart of the island were still without power, and officials say there's a lot of work to be done.
主要为武林农场、福寿山区、华冈、翠峦等，重新将旧有设备移除，重新建杆、重新拉线及装置电力设备。
But in some places, recovery is still a long way off. In the mountains of eastern Taiwan's Hualien County, around 50 people are still cut off, with the only road in or out blocked by rock slides. Clearing this road is expected to be challenging, and officials aren't giving an estimate of how long it could take. On Sunday, helicopters airdropped 720 kilograms of basic supplies to stranded residents.
蔬菜是没有问题，但只是那个肉类的话，就可能就会比较缺乏。
Not all stranded people have been so lucky. The indigenous village of Smangus in the north is also cut off by landslides. And here, heavy fog has forced helicopters to turn back, their aid undelivered. A new attempt is slated for Monday, as food and medicine could soon run short for the 150 residents. For communities like this, the scars of Typhoon Kong-Rey will last long after the weather is cleared. Klein Wang and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's annual inflation rate has dipped to 1.69%, the lowest it's been in over 3 years. October's annual CPI growth is 0.13 percentage points lower than in September. It's the second month in a row where Taiwan's CPI growth rate has remained under 2%. Despite cooling inflation, officials say the cost of services and rent remains high. President Lai Ching-te has congratulated Palauan President Serengel Whips Jr. on his re-election. Lai says the two countries will continue cooperating on infrastructure development, environmental protection, and maintaining regional stability in the Indo-Pacific. President Whips has long been a strong supporter of Taiwan and the two countries' 25-year diplomatic relationship. Palau is one of Taiwan's 12 remaining diplomatic allies. Recent conscripts in Taiwan are learning to fire rocket launchers as part of their basic military training for the first time. Jaime Ocon was at the range and brings us this report.
After weeks of training, these conscripts are testing their proficiency on Taiwan's domestically made Kestrel rocket launcher. Many said they were nervous about this first-of-its-kind test.
红准实弹射击与在部校实施空操的感觉截然不同。虽然有些紧张与害怕，但想起授课教官所教的程序、步骤及要领，放下害怕的心情，顺利完成本次射击任务。虽然说这是第一次实弹射击，但我秉持着教官与干部给我的教育以及提醒，让我可以放下心中紧张的情绪。
Taiwan extended the length of mandatory military service from 4 months to 1 year in 2022 as part of a larger reform of its armed forces. Part of this included more realistic combat training, and now using this rocket launcher as a standard part of the country's military training. This test focuses on two main parts, accuracy and handling. Officers here say that they're hoping to get this weapon in the hands of as many people doing mandatory military service as possible. That's because it only takes about 5 days to really learn how to use the weapon. Taiwan's geography poses a big challenge for military planners in China, which would have to deploy troops by air or sea in an invasion. Analysts say that in the hands of a well-trained soldier, missile launchers like the Kestrel would prove effective in stopping vehicles from making it inland.
那可以提高它的火力就是在面对万一敌方有比较大的这个装甲车辆 armed vehicle 过来的时候，至少它可以立刻的反应。
But above all, many U.S. military planners say that Taiwan's shift to more modern weapons and tactics is just the first step in building a more effective defense.
For many, many years, conscripts didn't even fire these weapons. What I would really like to see again is the next step moving beyond this to actually seeing small units out there maneuvering with these weapon systems and then employing them.
The military says it's on track to train more than 9,000 conscripts by the end of this year, and is working to give this generation of soldiers the skills they need to defend the country. Fu Huahong and Jaime Ocon in Tainan for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwanese chip giant TSMC is on the hunt for top engineering talent, and now is looking to train foreign students for its branches overseas. Tiffany Wong reports.
Studying semiconductors, Japanese student Mashita Ayane has traveled over 2,000 kilometers from her hometown in Saitama Prefecture to enroll at the National Yunlin University of Science and Technology in southern Taiwan, a school she chose because of its links to semiconductor giant TSMC. The chipmaker is funding her studies, and she hopes that if she works hard enough, by the end of the program, she'll also have secured a job there.
簡単なんですけど、やっぱり中国語なので、習ったことないところは難しい。
The fully funded program is all part of the tech giant's efforts to train up its talent for its rapidly expanding business. TSMC just opened its first factory in Japan in February and is set to begin commercial production in the fourth quarter of this year. To meet its recruitment needs, TSMC signed a 5-year agreement with the university to train up dozens of Japanese students each year.
学校自己本身等于有点类似奖学金这样鼓励他们过来念嘛。我们整个叫半导体学程，那这些半导体学程后续可能会，他也可能在半导体的其他产业啊，可能也在封装啊，可能也在那个测试啊，可能也在各种不同的那个半导体的产业。
TSMC is hoping to expand the program to 90 Japanese students next year. It's also announced plans to launch a similar program in Germany, where the company is building its first European fab, making sure their foreign subsidiaries have the key Taiwanese training that has made TSMC the world leader. Kama Shri and Tiffany Wong for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is racing to boost its domestic drone industry, seeking to build drones that can help defend the country against a potential Chinese attack. To this end, a drone design competition for university students is attempting to match knowledge with resources. Ardil Bra reports.
The whizzing sound of drones at a university in southern Taiwan is a major attraction this month. These students in Jiai County are not working on a school project. Instead, they hope to play their part in defending the country. As China escalates its coercive activity across the Taiwan Strait, Taiwan is taking an all-of-society approach to boost its defense. Now, those efforts include a competition for university students to design unmanned aerial vehicles or drones.
台湾这个位置也可能会面临这个问题，所以我们想在这个主题上面去强化我们的无人机。那所以不管各部会都有投入资源，那我们这边是在 国科会的指导下面，所以我们主要是在前瞻技术的提升，所以希望我们这前瞻技术提升能补足我们台湾无人机产业的缺口跟需求。
The National Defense Application UAV Challenge is now in its second year. Last month, 20 university teams went head-to-head in a battle of the drones. A winning drone design project could be acquired by Taiwan's defense companies and possibly end up in service down the road. Inspired by Ukraine's success in using drones in its war with Russia, Taiwan sees the technology as a key part of its asymmetrical warfare doctrine. Ukraine has developed drones as a lethal tool to take on a larger land army, but they have also been vulnerable to Russia's jamming attacks on the operator's signal. For that reason, this year's drone competition simulates a realistic battlefield scenario where jammers could cut the satellite signal to the unmanned vehicle.
战争的话，就国防应用那边的话，那可能在台湾这个地方，可能发展性会比较大一点。然后就想说，看到台湾有稍微就是有投入一些蛮庞大的资金，就是往国防方面去应用去砸，所以我就想说，我就跟着这趋势走。
Learning from the Ukrainian experience, these students have committed to developing drones to help Taiwan survive against an enemy with greater numbers and firepower. Conflict with China may not be imminent, but Taiwan is preparing for the day that everyone hopes will never arrive. Joseph Wu and Adil Brar for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching. Here's what happened. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, check out the Euro Naval Defence Trade Fair that has just wrapped up near Paris, where drones were the star of the show. I'm Rik Glauert. Take care, and we will see you next time.